In the 19th century, Victorian society was captivated by a range of peculiar habits and obsessions. From the eerie practice of photographing the dead to the sentimental art of collecting hair jewelry, their fascinations knew no bounds. Join us as we delve into the bizarre addictions that once consumed the minds of these curious souls. Grave robbing. During the Victorian era, as medical science advanced by leaps and bounds, doctors were increasingly eager to fresh cadavers to further their anatomical studies. This demand gave rise to the notorious body snatchers, who prowled cemeteries under the cover of darkness, targeting newly entered corpses before decomposition took hold. This clandestine trade facilitated a macabre but essential supply chain, supplying doctors with vital specimens crucial for expanding their understanding of human anatomy. This dark and unsettling practice represents a chilling chapter in history where the pursuit of scientific knowledge intersected with clandestine operations, pushing forward medical advancements through morally ambiguous means. Eating weirdest animals alive. During the Victorian era, even Charles Darwin, renowned for his theory of evolution, ventured into unconventional culinary territories. Darwin's appetite led him to join clubs like the Ichthyophagus Club, which is dedicated to exploring the strangest sea creatures found in the depths of the ocean. Additionally, his participation in the Glutton Club reflected a broader curiosity for unique culinary experiences, prioritizing novelty over the specifics of what was on the menu. This era offered a fascinating peek into Victorian gastronomic eccentricities, where the thrill of culinary adventure trumped traditional dining norms. Women wore entire birds on their head. During the Victorian era, taxidermy extended far beyond the realm of eccentric collectors like Walter Potter. It became a widespread fashion trend among women in Europe and the USA, who adorned their hats with strikingly bizarre and meticulously preserved taxidermized birds. These extravagant accessories, featuring not just feathers but entire small birds, became highly sought after. With the more unusual or exotic the specimen, the better. This obsession with the ornithological adornments led to a dramatic impact on bird populations. Conservationists estimate that up to 67 bird species were pushed to the brink of extinction due to the high demand for these elaborate hat decorations. The allure of these exotic creatures on hats caused widespread exploitation, as hunters and collectors scrambled to meet the fashion industry's insatiable appetite for unique and rare specimens. Use of arsenic by women. In today's world, achieving a sun-kissed glow is the trend, but in the Victorian era, beauty standards were strikingly different. Victorian women pursued a pale and pristine appearance at any cost. Their unconventional beauty regimen included nibbling on chalk wafers infused with arsenic. Despite the high toxicity and addictive nature of arsenic, these women believed the risk was worth it for the coveted porcelain-like whiteness it imparted to their skin. It's fascinating to observe how beauty ideals have evolved over time. What modern preferences favor, a sun-kissed complication, Victorian women aimed for an ethereal, almost fresh out of the coffin appearance. Mummy unwrapping parties. In the Victorian era, coming back from an Egyptian expedition didn't just mean sharing stories of pyramids and sphinxes. It was important for social status to bring back a real mummy. Victorian society was so fascinated by ancient Egypt that hosting extravagant gatherings upon returning became a mark of sophistication. These unique social gatherings included the debut of the newly acquired mummy, with the unwrapping ritual taking the spotlight at the event. Attendees, in their most elegant clothing, came together with excitement to see the unveiling of the well-preserved remains. Attendees were filled with a mix of excitement and fascination as they admired the mummified remains from another era in the atmosphere. These gatherings, which mixed exoticism with the eerie, clearly demonstrated the quirks of Victorian England and its unconventional social practices. Horrifying face masks. Though the beauty regimens of today may appear severe, there once existed a rubber face mask that resembled something out of a scene from a Hannibal Lecter movie. known as the face glue. This contraption required users to apply special lotions inside before donning it for an entire night of sweating beneath its confines. Yes, it was indeed a real practice. In their pursuit of beauty, people of the past undertook elaborate rituals that seem exceedingly extreme when contrasted with our modern, straightforward skincare routines. This curious piece of history serves as an unmistakable illustration of the profound shifts in beauty trends over time, highlighting the lengths to which individuals have gone to achieve idealized standards of beauty throughout history. Collecting hair jewelry. The gathering of hair for sentimental jewelry was a remarkably trendy and refined practice during the Victorian period. Individuals valued wigs from deceased or alive family members as a physical manifestation of their lasting affection and connection. Once intricately woven and braided into complex patterns, this hair would be utilized to make accessories such as bracelets, brooches, and rings. These objects served as profoundly personal mementos, often exchanged between close relations. The emotional importance linked to these hair-crafted gems reflected the Victorian period's emphasis on feelings, recollections, and the subtle interweaving of personal connections in a tangible, wearable form. Forbidden literature. During the Victorian era, a time known for its strict moral standards, there existed a secret fascination with literature that pushed societal boundaries. Despite the era's rigid expectations, books and pamphlets that would have been deemed scandalous or inappropriate became clandestine treasures for many Victorians. This forbidden literature, ranging from subtly suggestive poetry to explicit narratives, provided an escape into worlds where imagination wasn't constrained by the rules of everyday life. The allure lay not just in the provocative content, but in the active defiance it represented. A private rebellion against societal norms. Publishers and authors often used pseudonyms to avoid prosecution, while readers discreetly concealed their indulgences with hidden covers, making the Victorian age one of the secret passions and widespread transgressions fueled by the power of the written word. Christmas cards. Christmas cards made their debut in the Victorian era, reflecting both traditional and unconventional themes. But some cards featured familiar motifs like Santa Claus and festive scenes. Others took a notably airy and peculiar turn. Victorian card designs included anthropomorphized insects or frogs, adding a whimsically bizarre twist to the holiday greetings. This eccentricity mirrored the era's fascination with the whimsical and fantastical in art and literature. Despite their unconventional nature, these cards found popularity among those seeking to stand out with unique and sometimes quirky holiday messages. Today, these Victorian oddities serve as a playful reminder of the diverse and imaginative history of Christmas card traditions. The sweet evolution. In the 1600s, sugar was a rare and coveted luxury, reserved exclusively for the wealthy and royalty, symbolizing affluence and status. However, with the onset of the Industrial Revolution, sugar production soared, transforming it from a rare indulgence into an everyday commodity for the masses. This newfound affordability made sugar a staple in every household, expanding its use from just teas and desserts to an array of sweet and even savory dishes in Victorian kitchens. As sugar became more accessible, its consumption rates skyrocketed, leading to an explosion of sweet treats at every meal and celebration. Yet, this surge in sugar intake brought about new health issues, such as tooth decay and other ailments, marking the beginning of a new era of health concerns tied to this once luxurious ingredient now embedded in daily life. Living garden gnomes. In the strange realm of Victorian pastimes, garden gnomes may appear odd, but for the affluent and those drawn to the unusual, having an old man as a pet was a trend that truly challenged conventional norms of eccentricity. These unique associates, called hermits, were not just for show, which resided within the hidden corners of elaborate Victorian gardens. Even stranger is the fact that these hermits were not allowed to clean themselves, which made their lifestyle even more peculiar. Their silence was regularly enforced, keeping them from speaking and essentially transforming them into decorative statues in the garden. This strange tradition provides a peek into the quirky and sometimes confusing hobbies that fascinated some wealthy Victorians, turning their gardens into showcases of riches and stages for eccentric. Photographing the dead. When a family member from the Victorian era died, their families partook in a unique custom. Instead of just expressing sorrow, they adorned their family members in elegant clothing, animated them, and captured group photographs. They employed a distinctive method called postmortem photography to capture a lasting memory of the deceased at their finest. They carefully arranged the scene to create the illusion that the subject was alive. Nowadays, many individuals may feel unsettled or uncomfortable, even if the original intention was to honor the deceased. These pictures show the various methods people in that era used to cope with their grief. If you liked learning about the strange and fascinating habits of the Victorians, remember to click the like button, leave your thoughts in the comments section. What addiction caught you just off guard the most? Catch you in the upcoming videos.